Hey guys, what do you think the over-under is for me getting death threats for this video?
That's it, that's my intro.
Hi, I'm Amanda, I'm professionally curious and I talk for a living, and you're watching Swell Entertainment, the channel where I tell you about whatever I'm obsessed with every week. And today we are talking about the Jojo Siwa Cruise on the Utopia of the Seas by Royal Caribbean. And the intro is not a joke. I'm really curious what you think, because I've gotten some messages. Not quite death threats yet, but they're percolating. I can see it in the tone. I knew Jojo had shooters. I knew that. I'm online. I've seen it. I don't think you can be a child star turned adult star and not have it. But my gosh, the name Jojo Siwa coming out of my mouth spiked the cortisol of so many people. Simply me saying her name, seemingly everyone assumed that I was a hating troll. Fair and valid, I guess. But all I also want to say, overall, not very spirit of boomerang. I don't really care about what they say. I'm gonna come around like a boomerang. It's the 10th anniversary. Let's lock in. Oh, this is already falling out of my hair. Hold on. I was really trying to be cute with it. And I get it. A lot of people don't know who I am and what I do. But yes, I am on the Jojo Siwa Cruise. And I will say right off the bat, okay? The presence of the AI art is extremely disappointing. Jojo, you do have a merch empire. But really quick, let me tell you about the sponsor for today's video, Saily. Whether you're on a cruise in the Bahamas or you just touched down in France, nothing is worse than when you check your phone and realize you have no data. And frankly, I don't know about you, but I am not paying roaming charges. They're absurd. Saily is an eSIM service app and they have affordable plans in over 200 countries. Saily was my lifeline while I was in Japan, not just to be able to get in contact with my family and make sure I was going to the right location or taking the right train route, but it was also how I was able to continue to do my job. And not only did I not need to download a new eSIM while I was in the Bahamas, but Saily now makes it easier to connect while cruising, offering internet on over 19 cruise lines around the globe. It's super quick and easy to set up, and with their widget, you can track exactly how much data you're using so you know if you're going to be running out. But they also have unlimited plans. That's what I use. They also now have instant app-based phone numbers. By the time you see this, I'll already be in Cannes, and Saily will be keeping me connected the entire time. You can get a 15% discount on Saily data plans. Go ahead and download Saily and use code SWELL at checkout or go to saily.com/swell. You can get your Saily eSIM set up so you're connected as soon as you touch down. And thank you to Saily for sponsoring this video. I'm on the Jojo Siwa Cruise. She announced this in December, and I immediately was like, oh. 2022, I did the Gone Girl cruise that was hosted by Gillian Flynn, so I've done a hosted cruise before, and in 2025, obviously I reviewed my friend's wedding on the Disney cruise ship, The Wish, which we actually passed while we were docking this one, which was very fun. Obviously, I was like, oh my god, this is right up my alley, this is perfect. Watched Dance Moms growing up. JoJo's just kind of been a presence in my life. I don't know if it was her, but someone in your car, Jojo, at one point in time has cut me off in traffic in LA. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's no hard feelings. That's driving in Los Angeles. I asked a couple of people, I was like, oh, do you want to come on this with me? Because I always try. My rule is if you don't reply, you get 12 hours. If you do reply and you're like, oh wait, I need to think about it, you get 24. After that, I'm just booking it. This is my job. I will just book it. And I was like kind of giving it some time to breathe when I saw another creator post that they had booked it, they had made their first payment, and then they were canceled, as in their booking was canceled. This creator has given me permission to talk about this in this way. Their team apparently originally told them that they was probably canceled because they were a single person booking. And I told them, I said, no, because I wouldn't have a career if that were the case. And sure enough, I made the booking the next day by myself and I was not denied. That tells me that they probably were looking for YouTubers and people that were applying that had their name as their screen name. So having a screen name protected me again. Haha. No, again, this has happened before. I went to Ace Fest in 2020. God, was that 2023 or 2024? Forever ago, it feels like. And there was plenty of YouTubers that were banned from entering that had bought tickets, you know. I half expected and fully was prepared to make I got kicked off the Jojo Siwa Cruise because though I made my booking, I was fully expecting them to be like, absolutely not. It's not what happened, okay? But I was prepared for that, you know? I'm usually prepared for that. It's the nature of being a person on the internet. I made my booking on February 15th. There were still other rooms available. It's not like I got the last room, okay? And I got the cheapest option, which was an interior stateroom. I've stayed in interior staterooms before. It just means you don't have a window, basically. Pricing is per person based on double occupancy. I think this would have been less if I had 2 people, but because it was by myself, I ended up paying the full amount. This happens a lot. It's the plight of being a solo traveler. The interior stateroom pricing was $2,213. The swag bag, which was a separate purchase with the Jojo Siwa items, was $52.75. And then the official Jojo Siwa Cruise bow. This I needed, obviously. It's actually very nice. It's hefty. Can you hear it? I have to like anchor it to my head. This was $22. So in total, it was going to be $2,287.75. Okay. There were also a bunch of event add-ons, okay? So now, for those of you who don't know how I work, I attend an event, and my job is not to judge the participants of the event. My job is to review the event as a whole. I immerse myself in the subculture. I immerse myself in the fandom, whether I'm a part of the fandom or not. But I'm not here to troll on people, okay? Just here to experience it. That's it. I don't come in with a bad mood. Do I have opinions of JoJo prior to this? Yes. Do I let that impact my goal of having a good time? No. But there are certain lines I don't cross. I saw some people posting about group chats prior to this. I did not join a single group chat. I did not do any of the event add-ons. Me buying a bow is one thing. Me joining, say, the private dinner experience where there's only so many seats available, I did not do that. I did have some people that were pissed at that. It's like, no. You should have done the full experience. You should have booked the hibachi with JoJo. That would be very clearly me taking a seat from someone that is here that would want that experience. So I did not do that. Those also sold out extremely quickly. Okay. So those were, people wanted those. And those would be like 7 seats type of thing. These prices were also really high for those add-ons. I believe all of those, that's probably where JoJo and her team were making the bulk of their money. I'm assuming they were getting paid for part of this, or at least maybe their whole team did not have to pay for attending. That's usually probably what it is. Like, oh, you get this package, you get this block of rooms, this experience, this drink package, etc. Okay. But they probably, for what their income is, they're probably not making a ton off of our bookings. They might be. But probably where they're making most of their money is from the add-ons, okay? So that's a glitter photo experience. That's a private pizza slumber party. That was $1,200 a person, I believe. I have the screenshots somewhere. They were a lot. The dinner experiences were, I think, $500 or something a person. Glitter photo experience was $367 a person. I have that literally right in front of me. There was a couple of different time slots for this. Leave it to the pros. This is where you brought your own items within reason. It had to be pre-approved and they would rhinestone it for you. That was $525. And then there was a new experience that was added. Did you guys end up doing this? I'm assuming maybe you did and it was just put in a different slot. But these were $500 per group. I was just one person. So obviously I wasn't going to do this because it's like, yes, hello, JoJo and I are going to sing along together. It seems like a lot. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, that was going to be day 2, 10 p.m. during the sparkle party in the solarium. Okay, so that we did the sparkle party. There was no sing along. So I'm assuming maybe no one bought that. The add-ons as well. There was one today it was like cabana parties because this is a 3-day cruise, okay? We had 2 ports, and at each port there would be basically a cabana party with JoJo. I believe each time she came around 2, it was like a full day thing, so you'd be in the cabana. But like if you book that thinking that JoJo's going to be there, and then she just comes for like 2 hours at the end, that's like kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Like I think some clarity would be needed for those if I were to make any notes as far as those go. Because obviously I was not there, so I cannot give that opinion. But I'm sure if you check online, there's plenty of people that were posting about their experience. A bunch of the people that I saw that are here are fan pages. I will say, interesting to see fan pages that are dedicated to both JoJo and her boyfriend Chris, Joko, as I've seen them called. Chris is her boyfriend that she met on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, last year. They've been together for a year. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been on the internet a long time. I'm older than JoJo. I'm 28, okay? As a big sister, I get stressed seeing women make their whole a large portion of their online identity tied to their partners, celebrities or otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Stresses me out. I feel it rarely ends well. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to judge further. He's not here. A lot of people were like, oh my God, have you met Chris? He's not here. She's shared she's not seeing him until like July 7th. So he's doing stuff. She's doing this. Okay. But because of Celebrity Big Brother, that's where a lot of her current adult fans know her from, which a lot of people were questioning me. They're like, I'm shocked there's not more openly gay people here. Because a lot of people, for those who don't know, Jojo, I believe she's publicly identified as pansexual. I am accepting that she's young and her identity can change and her feelings can change. She is still young and growing in public, you know what I'm saying? But she publicly dated women for a couple of years. And so she developed a very robust, LGBT plus fan base, I met a lot of people from the UK. A lot of them are parents themselves. A lot of them did not come with their kids. But again, that's also a cruise. So a lot of adults that are here are adults that are like fans of Chris and fans of Celebrity Big Brother and know Jojo from Celebrity Big Brother, which I do think is interesting because I do think that like the reality TV fandom is such a different market. But I mean, we see this right now. As I'm recording this right now, like US Love Island is happening. And like I've seen that fandom for various seasons of Love Island and then the stars that come out of Love Island. Chris started on Love Island for the UK Love Island. Like I've seen how that can change and grow. So I think that's a lot of the like connection for Jojo now is like people that found her through Chris. And so that's where we're seeing a lot of the current adult fans. Because a lot of people were like questioning on my post. They're like, I thought Jojo was done with the bows. Because she mostly herself has stepped away from the bows. And some people were like, oh, her marketing team hasn't. I mean, I heard one parent say that like their kid's school uniform guide literally says no JoJo bows. Like today, like in 2026. That's motion, like that's, I wouldn't be shocked if they did like bow bonanzas once a quarter. Schools are aware of JoJo bows. like that's kind of a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's already peace out. This is so, oh my God. I feel like I'm in Vegas.
Let's just go through the formatting because some people were like, what is happening on the Jojo Siwa Cruise? So this is a part of the cruise. We still have access to the rest of the cruise and there's plenty of downtime, okay? So there's certain things that I got access to across the board just included in my ticket without the add-ons. And then there was add-ons available. And then obviously we get access to the entire ship. So nothing to indicate that I am on a Jojo Siwa Cruise, at least in here. I do have to go to check-in at 3, I think it starts, or no, at 2 is when I'm allowed to start checking in with them. So I was able to board at noon and then 2 hours later is when I was able to get in line to get my badge with my name. They printed it out right there, which was very nice. And then this was just kind of like, I think it's mostly commemorative because I did ask, I was like, when do I need to wear this the whole time? Most of it though was based off of your wristband and there was different colors. This was the VIP guest. This was just the standard one. There was different colors depending on which activity you got versus like checking the list every time you went to the special activities and things like that. And then this one is the Jojo Cruise. I believe this was made by an attendee. I'm not sure if they were one of the fan pages, but they made like special Jojo Siwa Cruise, Bahamas 2026. It's very fun. They made that. It's a good quality ribbon wristband. Very nice.
Okay, I'm hoping that stays. I have officially registered for the Jojo Siwa portion of the cruise, so I figured I would go through everything. We got a passport. I think all of this is AI art. We get stickers every time we go to something. And then this is the bag that everyone got. And I also got, obviously, a commemorative cruise bow. Hold on. Ow. Okay. Like. William, include this. It's so, I'm gonna have to reinforce this. It's heavy. Oh, it's a JoJo specific cruise duck. It's got the JoJo logo cruise on it. A little notepad with, again, the Jojo Cruise Bahamas logo on it. Jojo Cruise hand sanitizer. I do appreciate that because there's a lot of us here. I'm your guilty pleasure keychain. And this was, I think I bought this. This is a swag bag that was a bonus swag bag. Not everyone got it. I don't know if this is because I'm VIP or what. Here's the hat. Yeah, I think the ship is AI chat.
Hours later, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., Jojo Cruise kickoff party in the music hall with Jojo Dares game. And that was Jojo coming out, saying hi to everyone. She came on the stage, moved some posters around. Everyone was just kind of around. I was upstairs. I accidentally entered on the top because there was 2 levels to it. And so I was above looking down. She brought some of the littles up. She brought some of the big kids up. This was pretty all ages. So it was mostly like little kids, adults, 20 somethings, but a lot of adults. But I would say it was a good mix.
She's doing a big kids versus little kids. So she's getting adults and then littles. The average age is 6 years old, which is why I'm not filming that part. But they're adorable.
I overheard one of the people on the ship, like actually one of the crew workers, say that there was about 250 people here. I don't think we quite hit that number. I think that was the original block, including all of JoJo's crew, maybe. But also, I don't know if we hit that. But also, sometimes kids are not counted the same way on cruises. You still have to usually like register them because it's a child. It's a mouth to feed. That's a child to keep track of for safety purposes. But I don't know, I don't think we hit 250. I would believe over 100. Maybe 175, 150, maybe. I'm not certain. I don't think we ever got like the full tally. And then there was a lot of people that like came here with their families, but then their families were like on another part of the boat. So I think a lot of people like may have been booked with the group, but then weren't in the room. You know what I'm saying? I would be talking to someone, it's like, oh yeah, my kid's up there somewhere. And like they were coming and going type of thing.
I will 100% be putting a jacket on because I'm already freezing. So this next thing is on the soul area, which is going to be interesting because it's an 18 and up club type of space. And there's a lot of kids here for the Jojo Cruise. So we'll see. I heard some people saying like, are our kids gonna be able to come? So, but it's also 10 p.m. So I don't know how they're doing this.
10 p.m. We had the welcome aboard party. Lots of 10 p.m.s. I was very tired. This whole trip I felt. Dress as your favorite JoJo. I obviously dressed as Karma JoJo. I just wore all black. I was gonna try and do a star thing on my eye, and I was like, I don't think that's gonna work. So instead I wore my cruise bow. This is where we got a photo with JoJo. Everyone that attended got their photo with JoJo, and they've been printing out the photos, which has been very nice. I did say something to her. I said, you're tall, because she is tall, which I always knew. I always heard she was tall. But I'm literally wearing heels here, and she's still very tall. She's leaning too. I just stayed and was like hanging out. And then I saw them start tearing things down by 11. I was like, great, I get to go to bed. So I left when they were tearing things down. So each party, like after party, would basically be an hour. Some people said that they would go to like the club or something afterwards, which is on board the boat, but that would be like the adults doing that. And then scavenger hunt, cabin door starts. Some people were like, oh, I thought she was going to explain, or someone was going to explain like what those were. They were never explained. And so most of it was like, some people didn't know that there was a door decoration contest or anything like that. I didn't decorate my door, but some people that were like, oh, I would have done something, but I just didn't bring anything. Same with the scavenger hunt. I don't know if they ever talked about the scavenger hunt. They did the awards for the door decoration contest today, but no one ever talked about the scavenger hunt. So I don't know if anyone ever hid a duck. I never got the chance to hide mine. I don't know if we were supposed to have parameters of where to hide a duck. I never saw a duck. This is a big cruise ship. Duck parameters might have been needed. It's cute in concept. It's very sweet that they sent us ducks versus like asking people to bring their own ducks. It's very nice. But I think a little bit more parameters for the duck scavenger hunt contest. Because a lot of people I kept hearing being like, have you hidden your ducks yet? Because I didn't.
All right, time for Build-A-Bow, I believe is what it's called. It's a workshop. We're gonna learn how to make a bow. This is included in our package.
There were 6 different Build-A-Bow group time slots, and you just had to like red pick which one you were going to. So I did the first one. It was 9:45 to 10:30, and they provided the bow already folded with the little JoJo charm on the bottom down here, and a big package of rhinestones, the Jojo Siwa rhinestones. And one of the women at my table said, because they were like, oh, and you get to keep everything. So like all of the materials, our little poker, all the rhinestones, the glue, all of that, we get to take that with us. That's part of our take home, which is nice. She was like, oh, that's great. Like JoJo rhinestones are like actually really expensive. Like that's a really good deal. So that's nice. And that's where we also were able to get our photos, and her bedazzle team, her sparkle team was there like watching over everything. So Build-A-Bow, aside from, my understanding is that all of the special experiences that you paid for, JoJo was at all of them. I don't know if she was at the sparkle picture events, but it would make sense to me if she was, but it would also make sense to me if she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? She was not at Build-A-Bow, but there was other things happening in those time slots for those paid experiences, which I'll go through some of those in a second.
It turned out so great.
I hope it stays. 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. was the main concert. Now, I knew the concert was coming because she had been posting about like her rehearsals and things like that. She also got a concussion on the first. from like falling out of a golf cart. Godspeed, Jesus, my God. The concert's great. She's a good performer. I also want to note during the opening kickoff party, Jojo's very good on stage. I've talked about this a lot as well with like the Jonas Brothers when I went to Jonas Con last year. You really can see the child star in adults performing. The Jonas Brothers, you can see it in Jojo. There's a certain type of like hunger in a performance that makes very good performers and that persists into adulthood. Obviously, artists feel very passionate about their work. They want to give their all into things, but there's a level of like just being on for a prolonged period of time that you just see it's easier seemingly for a lot of people that were child stars because they grew up being able to click into it. Jojo did a lot this cruise, like 3 days. Every time she left her room, there was people around her that wanted to be around Jojo. And so she was on a lot. She was performing a lot. She's very good at it. So she did a very good job, I felt, of, especially during the opening kickoff party, of like meeting in the middle with the adult fans and the teenage fans and the kid fans, the little babies. She calls them peanuts. And I thought that was very impressive because sometimes you can see, especially now, I feel like it's like, for some artists, modern artists, it's like it's a chore for them to like kind of engage with their audience. Not everyone can do it. And it's everyone's personal experience and everyone's personal, taste for how they engage with their audience. But a lot of people, I think, would not be able to do the amount of like fan exposure that Jojo did this week. And I think that was very impressive. And I want to make that note. There was multiple kids crying in the first time. And she kept being like, okay, what's happening? Are we overwhelmed? What's going on? like immediately brought it down and I think did very well. There was this really cute moment. One of the kids had the job of finding 10 people in the audience that were wearing bows. And she got 10 people. And Jojo at one point was like, did you get 10? And she's like, I don't know. I wasn't counting. Like she was just grabbing people with bows from the audience to bring them on stage. And Jojo was like, oh, but we have a problem. You don't have a bow. And like took the bow out of her hair to give her. And it was very sweet. That I do think was the only time Jojo wore a bow this whole cruise was that opening. It was a very small bow. It wasn't like what I would classify as like a Jojo bow. You know what I'm saying? It was a very small bow. But that was very cute. And I wanted to make that note. Okay, the concert was also in the music hall. The music halls also were the first place. And I understand why in, say, scouting, this would be a good spot. My main note overall, well, I have a few notes, but my main note for performance-wise, because the concert's a huge part of this, obviously, especially because Jojo has not done a US tour, I think in a while, okay? She just did the UK tour, obviously, and some people were asking, like, when are you going to tour in the US? We want to see you. We want to show up, So this was, like, a big deal for a lot of people, especially for US fans. And so I think this would be I think we can look at other options. I don't know if the Royal Caribbean ship, but this was the only ship that this was the only place that they recommended. Someone said, like, no, she came and scouted this ship. She chose the ship, and intentionally she said she chose this ship. I think a different spot might have been good just because of the way the stage was and because her performances are so dance heavy. Obviously, she's a dancing background. She was dancing before Dance Moms. She did Dancing with the Stars, So a lot of her performances are very dance heavy. She has a whole dancing team that's been with her for years now. It's very cool to see this performance, and it's a very like involved performance dance-wise. So to have the space to dance, it was like the stage top, but then it was also the dance floor in front of it, which I'm assuming is why they chose this. It's like, oh, it's perfect. It's 2 levels. We have a dance floor. This is great. However, because there's not enough chairs in that room and because there's a lot of adults as well on this, it was very hard to see. I was really hoping, and I can't tell, I can't be certain. Adult fans, were you guys letting the littles up front? There was a few people in wheelchairs. Did you guys let them up front? I was in the back. I always make sure, like, let me give everyone space, keeping my distance from the back. And I was bopping, I was dancing. That was the thing that was really confusing people on TikTok because I was posting. I was very excited for Karma. I really wanted to see Karma perform live. I got to see it. It was very fun. I was dancing that whole concert, and the amount of people that were like, wait, I thought you were a troll. I was like, no, I'm not a troll. You guys decided I was a troll. And also, what am I going to do? Come here and pout in the corner? No, I'm going to have a good time. Of course I'm going to dance. It's a concert. I'm going to dance. What are we doing? That's not a good review. It's not a good experiencing what's going on. Of course not. I'm enjoying myself. I'm dancing. I'm talking with people. I'm helping people get photos. I'm making sure that there were kids sneaking in. It's not my job to be a snitch. Okay, that's my other note. I have another note in a second, but we'll see. But like, because there was hard to see, a lot of people were standing on the chairs around the venue, like the bar seats and stuff. And it's like a bar, but still, I'm just like, safety, you know, things like that. And like no one said anything, like people were coming around taking drink orders and things like that. No one said anything like, hey, don't stand there. So I'm assuming it was fine, but you know, safety concerns and things like that. One suggestion I would make, because clearly once people realized that Jojo was on the ship, they were really excited to see Jojo. A bunch of people kept trying to come in or like, oh, hey, can my kids see? Things like that. And so I think there's two options. The Royal Theater, which is another theater space. There's actual seats, you know, and it's like more concert style. Or the Water Theater, I believe it's called. It's the amphitheater. It's at the back of the boat. Giant screens. And it's literally like an outdoor amphitheater style seating. It's where they do the water show. But they have a deck that goes over the pool. So they could do an actual pool set. And they could, or an actual like stage set. And I think they could have, obviously there was things scheduled, but I think that would be good. And then you just have maybe reserved seating for like the people that paid for the cruise. And then maybe, I don't know, it's an add-on for the cruise guests if they want to just like add a ticket for the Jojo Siwa Cruise and actually get a seat. That could be fun. And then it's more like an actual like concert in this style. She did talk about how she really liked doing this concert and she wants to workshop it a bit more for potentially doing a US tour or another tour. And I just think that a bigger stage, a bigger setup, and more seating options. There was also an upstairs area, which is where I was at obviously for the kickoff party. I did not go up there during the concert, but I think it was pretty filled up. But even then, it's like if you're not at the barricade straight up for like the upstairs area, you wouldn't be able to see in, but you would be able to see more. I would change that venue overall. The other thing that I would say, this is my other main note, your team is clearly very tight-knit. Jojo's team is run like a finely tuned machine because they've been around so long together, it looks like. And I think a few of them are related to her, is my understanding, not just her parents. Her parents were both here. Her mom's her manager. But I think what is also needed is someone that is just like cruise strong arm. You know what I'm saying? Like their job is checking to make sure people have wristbands, people have lanyards. At one point, I like went to the bathroom during the concert and rushed back, and like some girls had come in, no wristbands, no lanyards, and they were live streaming on TikTok, standing on chairs. You know what I'm saying? And like someone came, I believe it was Joe. Yes. Joe was sitting at the back at one point and was like, oh, do you have the wristband? This is like a private thing, you know? And there were private event posters handed around and things like that or put up. But I just think like having someone, because like your team is making sure your show is the best it possibly can because they're your team, you know, your dancers, everyone, your photography team, your sound guy, all of that. Like they're doing their jobs because that's been their jobs. I think you need a dedicated, if you're going to do this again, which it sounds like you are, a dedicated like cruise operator, cruise like strong arm, you know what I'm saying, to like be like, no, or maybe the cruise can like have someone to do that with you, but I think it's good to have it be someone that like you guys got, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Someone came up to me at the night, I don't want to give her a shout out just in case, you know, but you know who you are if you're seeing this. Hi. We talked a lot. We talked for like an hour after the show. We were talking during the concert, and then we were in line after the end party tonight, and she was like, someone asked me if I talked to you and showed me your video on TikTok because I posted a video. And she was like, yeah, I talked to her. She was very sweet. I try to be not a psychopath, chat. I really try to be a nice person. I come into these events. I'm not a huge bitch. I enjoy my time. That's all I do, you know? And we talked a lot about like the defensiveness. We talked a lot about people often make fun of Jojo, you know, and all of that. And so I get it. And you don't know me, but like I was explaining to her as well. I was like, see, that's the thing though. There are people that are going to watch the reviews from fans that are here. And they're going to be like, I don't care that you say you had a good time. You're a fan of Jojo. You don't criticize anything that she does. Why would I believe you? Me coming in and being like, this was really well run. I had a very fun time. Everyone was very nice. It's good vibes. Everyone was partying and dancing. It was very fun. And people were like, oh, wait. And I think Jojo and her team realized at some point, I don't know if it was my video, but at some point at the end party, she did mention that people were talking about some of the criticism that people were seeing online, but then also seeing that people were changing their minds. I see it happening in my comment sections. And I was talking about this as well in one of the criticism comments that I got. I replied to it and I explained that I was getting actually very defensive for some of the people being like, this is the weirdest event you've ever done. This is so bizarre. Because what about this is that weird? This is an artist with a fan base. Yes, it is a multi-ages fan base. But like, what is it about so weird? The amount of people that I know that if their favorite artist was like, yeah, we're doing an intimate cruise experience, here's a ticket, they would leap at that. Not a lot of artists would do something this intimate over this amount of days. And it's like, what's the problem here? Because it's bows and people hate girly things. People hate color, you know? And again, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's nothing to criticize about JoJo or anything like that, or that there's nothing to criticize about the fandom or her music or anything like that. This doesn't have to be your cup of tea. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that what about this experience other than people dancing to music that they enjoy and wearing fun colors and sparkles, making merch, things like that? What is so weird about that? That part. You know what I'm saying? I won't lie. Some of the all ages elements, I do think we got to break up. I think you got to have an 18 plus Q&A and an all ages Q&A. And the twain should not meet. Some of the sex jokes, because a lot of people, like I said, are fans of JoJo and her relationship. And so there was a lot of, someone sent her lingerie, it sounds like, to her studio and asked if she had worn it for her boyfriend at the end show. Just a lot, you know, like even the Sparkle Party last night, which was fun. There was a dance off, but it got real sexual. There were lap dances, clothes were coming off, you know, and there's a lot of littles. And I'm not a parent. I'm not their parent. It's not my job. Not my circus, not my monkeys. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just feel like a few people were like, that was a lot. You know, not everyone. Some people were like, it's fine. It's fun. You know, for me, I'm just like, okay. Maybe swapping out one of the glitter photo experiences and adding in like an adult's Q&A, 18 plus, and then like the kids Q&A and like breaking that up. I think that would be good. And then again, I think that's, you know, you're catering to, you know, both sides of your audience, the adults and the kids, you know, the peanuts. Because that was happening quite a bit, as you could see the kids getting frustrated because like they're excited because this is JoJo. Like this is their whole world. This is their Hannah Montana. This is their Taylor Swift. You know, this is Jojo Siwa. They're very excited. And like the adults who are taller, you know, they're getting their hands called on, you know, which makes sense. It happens, you know, but some kids were getting frustrated and you could see it. And again, like I said, everyone was trying to be accommodating. I totally get it. Okay. I just think that like we take the problem away by adding more Q&A things.
When you did the concert yesterday, you rocked it.
That was one thing that I did hear some people talking about. It's like, oh, I didn't go to that. I fell asleep because I thought JoJo wasn't going to be there. I thought JoJo was going to be at this one, and then she didn't come till later. I didn't know JoJo wasn't going to be at this one. You know what I'm saying? And JoJo did a lot. I want to make that very clear. I'd be exhausted. She was running around constantly and then doing rehearsal as well for the concert in there. See, so I hesitate to be like, I think you should be clearer about which things JoJo will be a part of so that people can plan accordingly. But then you're going to have things that like, oh, JoJo's not going to be at that, so then no one goes to it. So I don't think that's the answer to that either. I don't know. I don't know how to fix that one quite exactly. I will say some people were like, for the Sparkle Party, I expected more sparkle from y'all. I wore a sparkle top. Could have worn some more sparkles. Yeah, but I think there should have been more sparkles. Okay, so then tonight, final day, it was back-to-back events for the ending. And then there was one more dinner at the end of the night. That was also like the private JoJo dinner. 5 to 5:30 dance class, 5:30 to 6 p.m. dance competition, 6 p.m. to 6:45 farewell party, final photos, JoJo sing-along, cabin door decorations, Capture Hunt Awards. So obviously this changed. Dance competition kind of happened at the Sparkle Party, which I do think fits better at Sparkle Party because you got more space. We're in the Solarium. It's a full private event. I think that worked much better, much more space. The dance class was kind of pushed secondary. It was a Q&A first. And then, yeah, this is where I'm like, let's have a second. So 2 Q&As, you know what I'm saying? And then it was a small little dance class. There wasn't a ton of space. So it was just the opening to Serendipity, which is her song that came out this year about her and Chris's relationship and how they met. And then it was final photos. And they gave us like a little goodie bag at the end as well with another little bow and a signed photo of JoJo. And supposedly we're getting a email with all of the photos at the end of the cruise tomorrow. So other photos other than, you know, this one of me and JoJo, like the photos that we got again. Very nice. And also during this final show is where, again, I think everyone on JoJo's team became aware, oh, she's a YouTuber. Fair, valid, hi. And everyone, again, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you had fun. You know, I get it. Okay. Someone at the end, one of the other attendees was like, it was nice meeting you. I hope to see you on social media. And I don't know if that was I've seen your videos. That's fine. Yeah, nice meeting you. You know, like, okay. I don't say anything on the internet I wouldn't say to someone's face. I had fun. Like, what am I going to... I danced and made bows. I was bored. How dare they? This is cringe. No. When have I ever done that? And again, you guys don't know me, JoJo crowd, and that's fine. That's fair. But like, that's the thing where a lot of people are messaging me. They're like, girl, what did you do? I've done, I feel like, way more controversial events than this. However, the JoJo crowd's scaring me. Y'all are very much cutthroat, which is crazy. Because JoJo, your guys are trying to say that I'm a troll. JoJo trolls from time to time. It's been very lucrative for her. I'll never forget, it was like when people were still mad about her getting with Chris because she had been with someone prior to going on that show. She had a girlfriend at the time and then started dating Chris. Alas, life happens. Not my place, to make a comment on that. But when she did a video, I'll never forget, she did a video where she like made a video of like, oh, get ready with me with my jet lag, visiting my boyfriend or something. And she was in London and it was just her in the video, but she was like making breakfast and she poured coffee into a mug with her and Chris's face on it. And she was like taking a drink of it and she was smiling, like trying not to smile as she was taking a drink. And I was like, oh, she knows what she's doing. Like she knows people are gonna be pissed about this video. That's why she's making it. Like that's JoJo. It's been very lucrative. She wouldn't be able to have the career that she's had if she weren't like that. In the spirit of Boomerang, I know it sounds condescending when I'm saying that, but I'm dead serious. Like, she's been walking that talk. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. And everyone's like ready to jump down my throat. But also, again, how are you guys going to get more people excited about JoJo's music if every time someone says her name and isn't immediately like, are you a fan? I am a fan. Yes, I'm a massive fan. If like, we're past gatekeeping. You guys are like threatening. Like, this is crazy. That's just a lot. I have a thick skin. I don't speak to my own parent, like my own parent that gave birth to me has called me a whore to my face. Like, we're fine. I can take a lot. I've been on the internet for over a decade. Like, we're chilling. I'm good. Okay. There's little you can say to me to make me like get upset and freak out, but other people aren't. And so like, if this is how you treat a stranger, like, how are you guys gonna like get more people excited about JoJo? Like, cause I assume you guys want her to do more. I'm assuming you guys want her to do more tours and more cruises and things like that. This just seems like a lot, as an outsider that got to experience the fun and joy of girlhood and bopping to Karma. Overall, would I do this again? I think I'd get shivved if I tried to do this again. However, someone was like, yeah, we're thinking about doing a UK one. No idea if that's happening. She did share today that they are planning another ship that's also a Royal Caribbean ship, and it pulled up alongside us today when we were docked at Coco Cay. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Did you see my JoJo content? Were you confused by the vitriol in my comments? Side note, a lot of people, so one of the videos was from the opening kickoff thing, and the comments were turned off on that TikTok. I turned off the comments because I was getting many a message from JoJo fans mad at me for not doing my responsibility as a content creator to moderate the comment sections from negativity. That's not my job as a content creator. My job is to moderate harmful comments, which I have those blocks in place. No one was threatening violence. No one was saying anything racist or psychotic, okay? It was people being like, WTF, okay? That's it. And you don't have to like that. That's fair. But a lot of people were making those comments and like sending me messages. So I just turned off the comments because it goes against my personal philosophy for content, my personal content ethics, to only delete negative comments. I don't do that. I don't do that here. I don't do that on TikTok. So the answer is, no one gets comments, the end. And then I got a bunch of comments on other posts like, I think you accidentally turned off comments, queen. No, I didn't accidentally turn off comments. We turned them all off on purpose, okay? They're gonna stay off on that video. Alas, comments are gonna be on here, okay? I have locks in place so no one says anything psychotic, threatening, harmful, etc. But someone having a problem with this event or not liking JoJo's music, that's not the responsibility of me to moderate that. That's being on the internet, okay? JoJo knows that. JoJo's been on the internet this whole time. She literally is raspy, which is about people being like, why does her voice sound so raspy in Betty Davis eyes? And she made a whole song about it. And frankly, raspy's kind of a banger. It's kind of a bop. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. That's gonna be it. Do you see my content? Are you here? Did we talk? Are you annoyed at me? Are you mad at me? That's cool. That's fine. That's valid. You can feel mad at me. That's totally cool. It's totally valid. This is the internet. The same way that, you know, I'm saying like people are going to be like, what the fuck is this? There are people that are annoyed. They're like, you paid money for that? Yes, this is my job. I paid money for things. Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I stream on Twitch. Reminder, Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder, Chicago Girly Pop Go if you'd like to see more car and motorsport content. Shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me on channel memberships. If you also like to support me on channel memberships, go ahead and check join down below. Like to my on social media. That'll be up here. And that's been a hell of a day. Goodbye. The AI art, though, I'm so sorry. I can't get past that. You guys gave us so much stick. They did this really cute thing with the passport where, like, every time we went to a new experience, we got a little sticker for our, like, Jojo Siwa Cruise passport, which is very cute. And they did a ton of stickers. I am 90% certain they are all AI. With some of the custom shirts and things that I saw, I guarantee you have people in your audience that would love to help you make some designs for stickers. Please work with actual artists and not use AI. Please. Okay, that's all. Bye.